Gather round, Guardians. I'm going to tell you a story about one of my favorite things in Destiny. So kick back, relax, and enjoy the fine storytelling that Bungie does not want to tell you themselves. What's going on, guys? And one of the best things about Destiny is the story that is behind everything. It's a story that's underneath all the gameplay that Bungie failed to bring up. So many Guardians decided to delve deep into the lore to find all these types of things, and the stories that come out are pretty amazing. They're very good storytelling, and I don't see why Bungie didn't do that. So I'm going to share a story, and it's about Pahanin. I'm pretty sure that's the way you say it, or Pahanin. I'm going to say Pahanin for the remainder of this video, and his gun's super good advice. It's one of my favorite stories, so I'm going to share it. The whole super good advice storyline begins at the Vault of Glass, with the fire team of 2, supposedly 3, consisting of Kabar, Pahanin, and speculation of Praedyth. Now, before I go any further, the speculation on Praedyth is that he was sent into the future and ceased to exist, so anything that he had done has not happened yet. That is why no one remembers him, and it's kind of strange to send a fire team of 2 to do a mission. But as they entered the Vault of Glass, Kabar was not himself. He fought the Vex alone. This actually destroyed him. Not physically, no, just mentally. He beat the machines to death, but in his mind he was alone. The Vex manipulated his blood and his brain to believe that he was lost in an ocean. Obviously, he was not alone. You cannot open the gate alone, as you know in the beginning of the Vault of Glass. Pahanin paused a short while to remember him. Kabar died the worst death a Guardian could imagine, alone. After Pahanin told the Vanguard all these specifics about the Vault, he proposed how to go into the raid, and he decided to, how about you take more Guardians in with you, thus resulting in the 6-man raid squad that goes in. But after he discussed all this with the Vanguard, Pahanin went on to befriend all the Guardians because he refused to let any Guardian die such a terrible death. One of the biggest problems that he had, though, with befriending everyone was that he knew the Vex could manipulate the mind, and that would just backtrack any progress he's made on any Guardian. So what he did was, he thought to himself and decided, the Vex can change a Guardian's mind, but can they change an AI's mind? Can they warp an AI? Could the Vex make a Guardian forget an AI? Pahanin went over to the gunsmiths and requested a machine gun frame to be built. The scientists have been working on an AI that is not as good as the Exos, but it could learn much better than any other AIs that have been incorporated into guns. It would develop a personality much like the wielder. This seemed perfect to Pahanin. He wanted the gun to be exactly like him. He actually could be considered arrogant, but he was a good guy nonetheless, and the AI would be taking on a much better personality than it could with anyone else. So he got that gun made. The weapon lived up to expectations with Pahanin. The gunsmiths at Arcus, which created the gun, treated the machine gun with advanced Golden Age ammunition technology, the smart rounds. The reason it could hold such a thing is because of superior processing of the AI, because the AI was just so advanced for the gun, and it was able to use such a thing. It returned nearly every missed bullet back to the magazine, ensuring the death of its target. After a while, it picked up on Pahanin's personality. The gun was inseparable for Pahanin, refusing to fire for anyone else. Two were indeed a couple of close friends, adventuring together, killing Fallen together, and, of course, cracking jokes at each other. After a long time of battling alongside each other, the two decided to share stories together, even though they were always with each other by a campfire in the Martian wilderness. They were telling stories, going back and forth, laughing, reminiscing of the past, when a sudden crack, Pahanin felt a sting of piercing dart, leaving the slime of poison in his blood. With a rush of sudden adrenaline, Pahanin picked up his trusty weapon, swung it around, and pointed it at none other than Dredgen, Crucible champion, and his notorious thorn in his hand. Pahanin hesitated just a moment too long, and Pahanin shot twice, and the machine gun dropped to the ground. The weapon roared no. Pick me back up, Pahanin. Unleash my fury on this exile. Pahanin dropped to one knee. You must, it stubbornly urged. Pahanin fell, accepting its wielder's fate. It said the one thing Pahanin needed to hear. You are not alone. Super good advice is more than just a weapon. Once you have proven your worth, you are its best friend. It will loyally stand by you, ensure you will never be alone again, especially in the mind-bending solitude. Thus concluding the good advice story. It ends terrible, but good advice, as terrible it may be as an exotic, it has a great story to it. They should really make a couple cutscenes out of this. I'm pretty sure someone has to go out and do this. Destiny, as I said, has a great lore behind it. You really have to dig. If you're lazy, you can just wait for videos like these and just go around YouTube and have other people do it for you. But you can really get lost in this lore, and a lot of great stories come out of it. So that seems to be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is one of my favorite stories. I already told the one about Dredgen and Jaren Ward. Those two, great story between them. And it also carries over because Dredgen was also in this one. As terrible as a guy he may be. If you haven't seen that video, you can click here. It kind of carries over because that's a theory. I'm not going to really say anything more. But there's a theory about this whole Dredgen, Thorn, and Jaren Ward last word type thing going on. So click there if you want. As for me, I'm going to hopefully see you guys in the next one. Peace.